The Media Tour has been dumping information in full force, but the thing that really got me excited was playthroughs of the very first dungeon, the Tower of Zot. It looks like an amazing dungeon, a real treat for the eyes. If this is what they are throwing at us right out of the gate, I cannot wait to see what comes next. Just to be fully transparent, in case it wasn't obvious, I was not involved with the Media Tour. I'm just commenting on footage that I've seen that has been released. The footage I'm using was from IGN, I linked the video in the description. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's get started. The Tower of Zot is a reference to a dungeon in Final Fantasy IV. You know, going to the moon was also a huge plot point in Final Fantasy IV, and it excites me with how much inspiration Endwalker seems to be getting from this amazing game. Other than the name and the music, the look of Endwalker's Tower of Zot is completely different and creepy AF. This was the Tower of Zot in Final Fantasy IV. And as you can see, it's a strange building, that's for sure, but it's not something straight out of the mind of H.G. Geiger. In case you aren't familiar with Geiger's work, here are some examples. His stuff is completely out of this world, weird and grotesque. If you're familiar with the movie Alien, he is the man that created the Alien's signature look. Endwalker's Tower of Zot just screams H.G. Geiger, right? So the dungeon has a real creepy aesthetic. For example, the weird-looking spinal column things that come alive and become bridges. Those are so alien and weird, right? Then, midway through the dungeon, you are in a much more claustrophobic area, and the walls, they are moving. They almost appear to be breathing, almost as if they were alive. It's almost like you are in a living thing. Then, towards the end, you have all these creepy tentacles with spikes all along the pathways. Either that or huge, disgusting centipedes. Other than the look of the dungeon, the trash also looks pretty interesting, with mechanical enemies and those huge, hulking armored dudes. Something I found to be a little sad was the soldiers were enthralled. They are fighting against their will. Towards the middle of the dungeon, the enemies start to, let's say it reminded me of A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, when the dude gets combined into a motorcycle. They looked really gross, probably because I have that imagery from the movie still in my head. Something that I thought was really fun is at the start of the dungeon all the scions are there, helping you fight. That is something I've always found to be really cool when running dungeons. Your allies fighting alongside you. I don't mean with the trust system either. They are there regardless. So now let's talk about the bosses. I was wondering from watching if the Magus sisters would make an appearance here, and they most certainly did. For those that might not know, the Magus sisters were bosses in Final Fantasy IV that appeared in that game's version of the Tower of Zot. In Final Fantasy IV, they were named Mindy, Cindy, and Sandy. Here is a picture by Yoshitaka Amano of the trio. Yoshitaka Amano is the man who does a lot of artwork for the Final Fantasy games, and is responsible for the title splash screens. The first boss is Minduvera, who is obviously referencing Mindy. The boss music here? What a banger. Soken keeps outdoing himself. I always think there is no way the boss music could be better, and Soken rises to that challenge every time and releases a new favorite. The fight itself looks really cool, a spectacle for sure. Lots of ground stuff to look out for, plenty of movement. I can't wait to give this a try, that is for sure. Something that caught my eye and put a little smile on my face is Minduvera has a spell that has a very poison/bio effect to it. In Final Fantasy IV, Mindy actually did cast bio on your party, so that was a really cool attention to detail by the encounter designers. The second fight is against Sanduvera, who is obviously referencing Sandy from Final Fantasy IV, and she is basically a dragoon, jumping around with her big old lance. The fight looks a lot less intense than Minduvera, but it was pretty cool when she Kage Bunshin no Jitsu'd and you suddenly had multiple Sandys running around. The final fight is against Sinduvera, who is, well, Cindy from Final Fantasy IV, and she is joined by her sisters, meaning you fight the Magus sisters all at once. Another spectacle, that's for sure. This fight looks amazing. It also shows off the new end boss dungeon music, which has motifs of the Endwalker theme playing throughout. When they cast their Delta attack, my god, it's a cacophony of different ground AoEs to dodge, proximity AoEs to get out of the range of, as well as targeting characters with attacks. This move looks like so much fun to deal with. So yeah, this dungeon looks amazing, and it's the first dungeon of the expansion. Jeez, I really can't wait to see what they have in store for us. From what I've seen, I think this is the strongest opening dungeon that they have ever done. From the way it looks, to the boss fights, jeez, it's just so cool. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a great day.